Alright guys, let's go. Welcome back to the channel. I'm DM, I'm your host, and today we're starting off with yet another new segment, and as you can see from your screen, we're going to be calling this Sensei's Divining Top 3 Thursday. What are we going to be doing with Sensei's Divining Top 3? Well, for those of you who don't know, Sensei's Divining Top is a card in Magic where you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put them in any order that you want, and then to tap it, you can just draw a card. Kind of helps you search through your deck, kind of helps you blah 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 blah. But the point is, the joke here is top for your top 3 cards of your library, top 3. You guys getting this? You guys hanging in there with me? So what we're going to be doing with this segment is we're going to be talking about a top 3 list of anything. It could be anything in the world. Your favorite planeswalker, your favorite commander, favorite deck, favorite strategy, favorite anything dealing with Magic. This one's going to be a little bit different, however, because something we're going to talk about requires a list of 4. So, just for today, it's going to be the top 4. So what are we talking about today? Why is it super special to have a 4 list instead of just a 3 list? So, last month, about mid-month, Wizards of the Coast came out with an announcement for the Commander 2017 announcement. There was some good news in it, and there was some unique news in it, and what we have here is the article right here for you to see. Announcing Commander 2017 edition, talks about for the 25th anniversary of Magic, we're wrapping up most of our product announcements into June, but can't wait that long because you're getting it earlier than normal. This year, Commander deck returns with Commander 2017 edition on August 25th, 2017. So it would normally come out in November? No, it would normally come out in, oh yeah, like October, something like that. But it's going to come out in August instead. So this time, and here's the important part of why we're talking about top 4. The set features 4 new tribal-themed 100-card decks, including 56 all-new Magic cards, Legal and Vintage and Legacy. This year, we're only doing 4 decks instead of the normal 5. This year, we are not going to be restricted, I guess, to the color wheel, but some of Magic's most popular and interesting tribes. So there you go. Commander this year is not going to be just, hey, here's one for every color, or here's one for these 3 shards, or like last year it was kind of restricted to here's everything but this one color, and then it went in the wheel like that. They're not doing it this year, they're doing it a little bit differently, so we're going to have a top 4 to talk about what I believe some interesting combinations of colors would be for the 4 tribes. So with that being said, the first one I want to talk about is my personal favorite tribe, and it's also a very popular tribe in Magic the Gathering. It is, of course, Goblins. And what I think would be a great idea would be to do Jund Goblins. So Jund, if you don't know, is the color combination of red, black, and green. We've seen already that Goblins have, they kind of conform to basically those 3 colors. Red obviously being the most popular with cards like Kranko, cards like Kiki-Jiki, cards like Grenzo, the newer Grenzo, not the older Grenzo. Even Doretti is an artifact commander, planeswalker, who is mono red. He even has a red-black version, which we're going to talk about in a second. But red isn't the only color we've seen them in. We've actually seen them in Gruul colors, which is red and green. Wart, the Raid Mother, was the original, not the original, but was one such goblin that kind of strayed from the pack of mono red, it's only red, and etc., and went into green. And she was a very interesting take, but she's actually in this slide twice. In this this part of what we're talking about twice, because not only does she have a red-green version, she has a red-black version. So you can see here we've had goblins in these 3 colors. I don't think we've had any like red-white or red-blue goblins or anything like that. Oh no, that's true. Not true. We do have a red-blue goblin. It's a merfolk goblin. And it's red-blue. It's a razor fin something or other. But anyway, I think this would be a great color combination for goblins. Goblins already have a decent amount of support in terms of just powering them up and being very synergistic. But I think the trick would be to do the synergistic parts in green and then black. And just for the record, goblins actually did once upon a time have a Jund commander, if you want to call it that. It's not really geared toward goblins. It's kind of a different take on, well, it's more Jund based than goblin based, and that's the Shadow Gang Brothers. They are red, green, and black, and they're basically a sacrifice deck. You can sacrifice a creature, an artifact, or enchantment in order to make other people sack the same thing. So that's what I think the first tribe would be, and since we're not conformed to the color wheel, you don't have to worry about representing the shards equally or evenly or anything like that. You can kind of do whatever you want or I should say wizards can do whatever you want. So I think that would probably be the most common one, since in their announcement they did talk about there being the popular tribes. And of course, we all know in Magic, to go into the second part of this, there's no tribe more popular than, of course, elves. And we all, of course, all know that elves have mono green. Just like goblins have mono red, elves have mono green. Azuri is probably one of the more popular elf commanders, but he's definitely not the only one. There's Rishkar from Kaladesh now, there is Dwayne, there is Yeva, there is Freylis for planeswalkers, and there's a couple other ones. So all in all, there is a decent amount of mono green elves, but there's also some elves that have gone out to other colors, namely being green white. Riss the Redeemed, Savala. There's a couple other ones. There's Tazmir, the Wolfblood, I believe, who's green white, but he's kind of like color tribal. He gives other green creatures +1/+1, other white creatures +1/+1, and then he can make a 2/2 green white elf legendary token, which I forget what Tazmir's wolf legendary token is. It's kind of like Karizev with Ragavan, Ravagon, whatever. So already you see that we have a decent amount of green-white support. White has a very similar concept in just the way it does creatures, with the building their creatures up. So green, or I should say elves, does that very well. Again, they synergize very well. Green elves start going and going and going. Next thing you know, Azuri pops, overrun 16 times because they tap for 1,000,000 mana each, and you're dead. And you're so dead that if you were to start another game, you'd already be dead if you counted it. But white isn't the only color that they've branched into, just like with goblins, green wasn't the only color they branched into. Elves have actually branched out into black, and of course, I'm talking about the best planeswalker in the set. Planeswalker. That's right, Shaman is a notoriously amazing elf in Golgari colors, but they also have support in the command zone, in terms of Nath and Savra, kinda sorta. You could probably run Nath as Golgari elves, but it's probably not nearly as strong as Savra. I think I said Nath. You could probably run Savra as Golgari elves, but it's probably not nearly as strong as Nath, because Nath makes elf tokens, elf warrior tokens. So that with Riss the Redeemed and Azuri, if you were to give me a Abzan colored commander that mattered for elves, that legitimately supported elves, I think it would be amazingly strong. Almost dangerously so, even. And of course, we could talk about the fact that they do actually have a little bit of blue support as well. I believe Voral's an elf, and then of course there was Azuri's Simic version in the Commander 2015 packaging. But I think Abzan Elves has a little bit more support. There is also some other like green-black elves that came out during like Origins and stuff that has a little bit stronger support than Simic, I think, would. And of course, Elves and Goblins, very popular. We just saw another tribe get a huge boost in Standard, as a matter of fact. Standard. What is it? Zombies. So, zombies are, again, notorious for their colors. I think the strongest zombies have been blue and black, and the reason why I say that is because we have commanders like Grimgrin, Corpseborn, and even Geese and Giralf. Now, Geese and Giralf aren't necessarily zombies themselves, they are human wizards. But as you can see at their bottom ability, during each of your turns, you can cast a zombie creature card from your graveyard. So they're kind of a self-mill reanimator idea, and it's pretty strong. It's actually very strong. You could say that zombies could go into a little bit of green with, like, Tassiger could probably be elf, could be like zombie tribal, but honestly, I think that white is a little bit better based on what we saw in Standard. So, what did we see in Standard? If you don't follow it, Standard saw white-black zombies become a thing. The Praetor winner for Amonkhet actually won with mono-black zombies, but there is some support for white zombies out there. Oketcher's name is an instant. Zombies you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. Other creatures get +1/+1 until end of turn. So it's not bad. It's more zombie related, but then you have things like Binding Zombie, where whenever another zombie enters the battlefield under your control, you can tap an artifact or a creature. Great for control. Great for you to be able to swing in really hard with all the zombies you have that you didn't want to get chump blocked. Especially if you like, Endless Ranks of the Dead. Let's say you have Binding Zombies out and Endless Ranks of the Dead and 5 zombies. You get 3 more zombies. I can't remember if it rounds up or down. and you can start tapping stuff, their best blockers, or things that you just don't want to block because it's got life gain or something like that. There was also Wayward Servant in Amonkhet, where whenever another zombie enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses life and you gain a life. It's important to remember that zombies are a very good token tribe, just kind of like goblins and elves are. And when you're talking about making lots of zombie tokens, again, Endless Ranks of the Dead can get out of control fast if somebody doesn't answer for it and you're still managing to play a bunch of zombies or just doubling your tokens somehow. How would you double your tokens in white, black, and blue? The new Anointed Procession is your best friend. It's basically a token version of Doubling Season in mono white. And I think this was a huge boost for zombies in general, for the black-white zombies, but we don't really have an Esper-flavored zombie. If I were to take an Esper commander and try to make it a zombie one, I'd probably choose a Laurel and leave him in the command zone, honestly. I wouldn't really need to use him because he just sits there and that's all you need from him, is for him just to sit in the command zone, gain you life, and he gives you all the colors that you need for all your zombie stuff. But to get, again, just like Shattered Gang Brothers was for Goblins, it's not really a zombie commander. I mean, zombies, they do have some kind of life gain. You could put Whip of Erebos in there, you could put Grey Merchant in there, and that's a decent amount of life gain right there, especially if you have a lot of black symbols coming out. But it's not strictly a zombie tribal deck. It's not a tribal commander, and if you're gonna, call a product a zombie, or not a zombie, but a tribal product, that's what you want to do. You want to give people things that support the tribes that they're really hoping to see. And of course, last but not least, this is actually probably not gonna happen. This is actually my wish list. So Wizards, anybody from Wizards ever sees this, obviously the product's already been made if they're announcing it, but keep this in mind for the next time you want to boost a tribe. Mardu, black, white, and red vampires. You gotta be saying to me, you're crazy. You're crazy. Vampires are black-red. Vampires are black-red. Look at both Olivia's. Black-red, probably one of the stronger commanders for vampires, unless you're talking about mono-black. But throughout the years, they've kind of splashed black and white into some of the zombies. Tits Drinker from Return to Ravnica, Drana's Emissary, and Cliffhaven Vampire from our recent trip back to Zendikar, and even Bloodcurse Knight from the Origins. These are all black-white zombies, and white in general wouldn't be a bad color to add because zombies deal with a lot of +1/+1 counters. And look at, let's say, Cather's Crusade. Every time you put a zombie out, give all your zombie, or put a zombie out. Every time you put a vampire out, all your other creatures get +1/+1. Well, all your creatures get +1/+1. That would go really well in like Olivia's theme where she's putting +1/+1 counters. Both Olivia's put +1/+1 counters on creatures. Actually, the bottom Olivia makes things into vampires. So, honestly, I don't think white would be a far-fetched. And you also have to remember that once upon a time, we had a white-black vampire legendary creature in Vishkal, Blood Arbiter. He's not super strong, but he also does deal with +1/+1 counters. And again, when we're talking about the fact that white deals with putting +1/+1 counters, black-red vampires get +1/+1 counters. I could go on and on about all the support for +1/+1 counters there are in red vampires. I think more the red ones than the black ones. There's some black ones that do it, but I think red is the dominant color. But we'd be here all day. This video would be half an hour long. And honestly, I know you guys probably don't want to sit here for all of that. But guys, those are my 4 predictions for what these tribes could be. Jund Goblins, Abzan Elves, Esper Zombies, and hopefully Mardu Vampires. It could be anything else. There's a lot of people saying that it could be dragons. There's some people who are hoping for some unique ones. Merfolk is also another popular tribe that we really haven't seen a lot of support for lately, so Merfolk is definitely a good choice. Personally, I think if you were going to do Merfolk, you'd probably want to do... They're kind of a weird one because they've had little splashes here and there. They've had little splashes of white with Sig. He has a white-blue version in addition to his blue-black version. There's also Jory N, which is blue-red. They've had green. So really, they've actually branched out in all 5 colors. There's a 100% chance that they could actually go into all the colors with one tribe. Like, you could do a 5-color tribe in... I would think they would reserve that more for something like Allies or Slivers, which that's entirely possible. Imagine if they did four decks that were all 5 colors with different tribes, and they all had different strategies. That'd be actually pretty insane. Pretty insane. But guys, that, like I said, those are my 4 predictions. I'm calling those. We'll see in a couple months. So if you're watching this video after, I'd say, June 20th, they're probably already revealing some spoilers, so we probably already have an idea. If you've seen it beforehand, then tell me what you think down in the comments. I want to give a shout out to the Continuity for the music that you're hearing in the background. They are providing the song. It is called Monster by Michael, so thanks Michael. My Continuity is a site where you can go and get non-copyrighted music. I don't know if people just make this music for the site or it's how they do it, but they get you non-copyrighted music, and that's pretty awesome for content creators because we, I think it improves the video overall, so it's kind of cool that I can go and find these. Of course, guys, as always, in the meantime, till the next video, you can follow me on Twitter at DM_cross. I constantly talk about Magic Gathering, talking about improving the channel a lot. Lately, I've been putting a lot of polls up on how to improve the channel, from everything from talking about splitting to just an MTGO, well, just an MTG channel and my Let's Play channel and other stuff like that. But you guys can follow me on Twitter for that. Hit me up, tag me in anything. I'll probably respond 100% of the time. And by probably 100% of the time? 100% of the time it works, or 60% of the time it works all the time? Is that kind of what I'm saying? I think that's what I'm saying. For now, guys, that's all I have for you. Don't forget to hashtag #SupportANerd by leaving a like, comment, and subscribe. I, of course, am that nerd. Guys, it always means a lot to me when I see comments and likes, especially if you notice something doesn't sound right, doesn't look right, something I could do better. I love to hear that stuff. I do want to improve. I'm trying to get better with these videos, obviously having stuff pop up, go away, and all this other stuff, making it look a little bit neater, a little bit more cleaner. We're talking about doing video editing soon. We're trying to make it a good content for you guys, something that you guys can enjoy, because I know, like, I enjoy watching Commander Versus, game nights, anything the Professor or Wedge from the Metasaurus put out. I love watching that stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. Again, leave me a like, leave me a comment. If you did enjoy it, subscribe for more. But until next time, guys, that's all I got for y'all. Peace. Love y'all.